Okay. Yeah, that's kooky. That's kooky on all kinds of levels. So it's all coming through now perfectly, right? Audio's not an issue. Yeah, it's all coming through perfectly. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. Mindful Pig here, and this is, of course, the Two Tired Dudes podcast. On this episode, it's not going to be spectacular. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just going to be my birthday. I'm just literally going to talk about my birthday, which is kind of why I felt bad because Classy, or sorry, I always say call him Classy Cat, but it's JW was messaging me. It's like, hey, you still doing the podcast? So I was like, yeah, I still am. And I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, you know what? There is stuff they could probably talk about that they've done, but just like, I don't know. I always feel weird just talking about myself, just it's a weird concept. It's like, hey, this is what I did for an hour. But yeah, I haven't really kept up with gaming news. This last week has just kind of been a shit show, in all honesty. Sorry, my nose is a little acting up. This last week's been kind of like a shit show, so I really haven't had an opportunity to I guess, look into a lot of gaming news. And I don't really think there is any. I mean, it's summertime. There's not really a lot to talk about in the summer. I think the biggest thing I heard about was Crazy Taxi maybe becoming MO massive multiplayer. I was gonna say MMORPG, but that's not right. Massive multiplayer online game, which I don't think is bad, to be honest with you. I mean, there are other ways they could have gone about it for damn sure, but I kind of like the idea. Like, I'm hoping what they mean by that is like kind of what the Super Show talked about, where they're going to have you earn cash, and that cash can be used to upgrade your vehicle, put on some fuzzy dice. Maybe I kind of like Jonesy's idea he had too with giving your car like special fuel to give it special bonuses, or maybe even disadvantages. Like maybe you'll get crazy turbo boosts, but then you'll have poor controlling. Like that'd be kind of. I'm down for it. I'm down for an open idea. I think the Crazy Taxi has been a long time since that was, and even when that came out, I liked it, and I liked Simpsons Hit and Run, but I don't think they match the gaming market that we have nowadays. And I think that people will enjoy it, but they won't enjoy it to the extent that they're thinking they will if it's still that same formula. Like, it does need a change. I say this as someone who, as we'll talk about, recently got a Sega Dreamcast for his birthday, and is enjoying some classic games. Now, I enjoy them just for nostalgia, but like, I don't think I could sit there like I did back in the day and play some of these games for like weeks on end, months on end, multiple times, a day. Like, I don't think it's gonna be that. But I definitely think I could play some of these games and finish them, because that's just a blast. But yeah, we'll get more into that later on. Let's see. Recap wise, it's been about 3 weeks. I guess, before anything else, I should say though, thank you very much to everyone who viewed the last Two Tired Dudes podcast. It's always the one I think that like have like the worst editing, or like, just were not really inspiring topics that seem to just blow it out of the park. So I think we ended up at like 32 views, which is really good considering my average is probably anywhere between 9 to 12 views I usually get on the Two Times 2 podcast on YouTube. Sorry, on Spotify it's like 3 average people who I love you guys to death. I don't know who you 3 are, but you literally, especially number 1, there's been one person that's been there since like day freaking 1 and has been watching them religiously. The podcast, or listen to the podcast religiously, and thank you for that, because yeah, you are literally the inspiration that I needed to keep on Spotify. Anytime I have that doubt of like, is it worth it, I just look at like, no, there's one person that's been listening and they've been there from day 1. I'm going to continue doing it, even if it's just them till the dawn of time. I will always post on Spotify for you, so just know you are my favorite fan. And if you ever want to come forward and shout out some feedback or whatever the case is, I'm always down to listen, because yeah, I really appreciate the fact that you've been listening to them for so long. But yeah, so we have three viewers on there, which isn't bad. It's not bad. It's definitely harder to grow on Spotify, and I guess the main reason too is I don't really know where to post. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to my community about it, and like they do the best they can. I know quite a few of them have applied. or not apply, sorry, but follow me or subscribe, whatever, on Spotify, because I have about, I think, 13 followers right now. So that's most of the Discord community. Those that, the main ones. I know there are some on there that probably just like, Mindful, I'm just happy watching you on X, Y, and Z. And it's like, I appreciate that. That's totally fine. But for those that just can't get enough of the pig, there's multiple platforms so you can enjoy me on. Um, yeah, so yeah, the YouTube video was just fantastic. I'm really, really happy with that result. If I could get 30 every time, honestly, I'd be pretty ecstatic, because that's a ballpark for me. Uh, um, sorry, it's been so long. I think it actually has. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since the last podcast, so it feels like there should be a lot to get caught up on. But then sometimes I'm like, I kind of just did the same old, same old. I guess the biggest elephant in the room is I will talk about JW's story, the sorrow we know. So I did finally get the opportunity to read it, and while he's not here, I don't want to like put him on the spot and embarrass him. So we'll talk about it later on if he does hop on. But if you guys haven't yet, I'm going to make sure the link is posted so you can take a peek at it. This is coming from someone who hasn't read a book in like 3 years, maybe even longer than that. Like, I read, social media. I'll read, trading articles that come into work, and stuff like that I have to, or I'm forced to read pretty much. But it's been a long freaking while since I picked up a book. I think I've tried a few times and just fell off. But as someone who's like that, and maybe you're like that too, you're like, mindful reading's boring. I recommend reading this one. It's quick, short, and sweet. You progress through the story pretty rapidly. I always say it wrong, so I'm sorry, JW, but I call them chapters. I think JW calls it episodes. So basically, with the link that I'm going to post on there for Wattpad, you go on there, do the little sign up. It's nothing crazy. There's no credit card information, nothing stupid like that. Just basic old sign up, right? The classic email, password, etc. So go ahead, sign up for that. I mean, it's cool because you get a whole bunch of different stories. Maybe you'll find some stuff that inspires you, right? But sign up, go to JW's page, or I guess there would be page on there, and then look at the store within. So I think right now he currently has at least 5 entries. I thought he was done. I made the mistake. I was giving all these reviews and I was talking about it, just all happy, and then he's like, there's still more to come, Matt. I was like, oh shoot, okay. My bad. Hey, JW, speaking of which.
Talking behind my back?
I am actually. No, I was talking about the sorrow within. Sorrow we know, sorry.
Oh,
Good.
nice.
Nice, you're coming through perfectly. Okay. So basically I was just telling people, to definitely take a chance and sign up for Wattpad and get a chance to read that one. And I was explaining, like, I thought the story was done, but then, like you told me, right, there's still more to come out.
Yeah, there's a couple of chapters left, 2 to 3.
Wow. Okay. That's really decent. But yeah. Basically, what I was trying to get at there was, as I said, somebody who doesn't like read a lot. Like I said, this story was really good. It had me intrigued in quite a different parts, I guess you want to say it. Is what was the characters, right? Like I really, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, right? So I said, please take a chance to read it very fast. I was that was the part that has surprised me the most, is how quickly I was getting through it. I was like, holy shit, I feel like an asshole. Like I could have read this at any point. I guess in my mind, I thought, okay, you wrote a story, so there's gonna be like, a good like 30 or 40 pages, but no, these are pretty fast. Like I was banging them out during my lunch breaks and stuff like that. Like it doesn't take long to get caught up on JW's novel here. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a short story, more than a novel, I would say.
Yeah. I guess I have to. I guess I have to
Like every chapter is around 2,000 words, so it's between 5 to 10 minutes to read.
Yeah. I like that. I like a story that just gets to the meat and potatoes, and especially, like I said, if you're getting back into reading, I guess is the best way to say it. These are definitely the way to go, because it's enough to inspire you, and then if you enjoy that particular style of horror or whatever the case might be, right, then it might inspire you to jump out and read other genres of that. But yeah, back to JW's though. It was the characters that really got me into it. You're gonna have 2 main focused characters that are very intriguing. I definitely recommend, if you haven't ever before, reach out to me once you're done reading it and telling me who you like and don't like, because I'll definitely share my opinions. JW already knows. Uh, beyond that, like I said, it was the way he captured things that take place in the book. So again, it's hard to say without spoiling stuff, but um, as somebody who's watched a lot of movies, I'm always kind of at that point where like it's cool when you see it in a movie or you read it in a book or whatever the case is, right? But it's almost like, yeah, been there, done that, right? Where the way that JW described it, it is touching on old trends, but he puts a really good twist, a really good, I guess, visual twist on it. That actually made me go like, holy shit, like this is pretty cool. But in the same breath too, like I don't want to speak for JW, but like you were saying, you're trying to aim it more towards teens, right? So it was toned down enough, but still had that nice little how do I say this, thriller vibe to it, I guess. There's still enough suspense.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say it was necessarily to target teens specifically, but I mean, it is a teen drama in some way. But it was more to give me the challenge of not outright using, gore or to shock or to create fear, to use other means of doing that, right?
Yeah, and like I said, if I never said before, right, those are my favorite kind of horror movies. I'm always a big fan of someone that doesn't use blood and guts to like get that like blood moving in your body, give you the chills and stuff like that. Always a huge fan of that because I think it takes a lot of effort to scare someone without going the violent route or going the jump scare route or things like that. Yeah, hence why.
Yeah, I tried the unsettling imagery instead,
Yeah, I say
which I think
hence why.
as I think I did well on certain, like there's particular chapters where I'm proud of because I have to say, like, dialogue is my strong suit, but I have a bit more problem with description. So so I'm very glad with certain chapters and how I've described it.
Like I said, without spoiling anything, it was the bathroom scene that I said I really enjoyed the most. I thought that one was very well done visually. And yeah, there was many times I said like at least two I can think of reading that book where even like I felt like the character and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like I was like, did I miss a part? Like it was cool like experience it the same way that character was feeling in that situation. So yeah, hats off to you, my dude. I said it's really good. Looking forward to the next 2 to 3 entries like you were mentioning.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you're liking it.
And again, right, like I said, I'll make sure I post the link up there so you guys have JW's website, and then plus we'll put on the Wattpad thing there too to make it easy for you guys to see how to sign up. Obviously, all feedback, please give to JW. But again, if you want to discuss things, I'm down. Like it's not often I'm willing to discuss books, but I'm willing to talk characters on this one. Yeah.
But yeah, you can do that, or you can wait for the whole thing to come out and as well, because I'm planning to post it on other places than Wattpad as well with some extra content. So you can wait for that as well if you prefer not to sign up for Wattpad.
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say now? Oh, and then the only other thing I mentioned was I said there wasn't too much I knew about for gaming news for the past 3 weeks because I said if anyone who's not a big time gamer, summertime is usually kind of the quiet time. People are doing stuff, there's not a lot happening in the video game world. I knew there was from the Super Show, the Crazy Taxi rumor that it might be like a massive online game, which I said probably isn't the worst thing in the world. To be honest, if it went the route that Jonesy was talking about, I'm kind of down.
It would have been bizarre, honestly.
But okay, like maybe maybe not doing an online version of it would be better. But I do like the idea that he had where like you collect that money and that money helps gives you accessories, even to the point where like you get to pick the fuel you want. And like I was going to take another step forward and say like imagine like if they added like pros and cons to that fuel, like oh you put diesel in your car, right? So now you have an extra speed boost, but it's also going to affect your steering and stuff like that. Like they could have fun with it. I think there's more to it they could do, because I think just taking Crazy Taxi and remastering it and like bringing it to today's world, people are going to get bored. It's not going to be. It'll be fun, but it won't be the fun you had way back in
I
19.
think so as well.
Yeah, right. So I do agree they need to spice it up, but what does spice it up look like? I guess is the best way to put it.
Like for me, it was always a weird idea to remake Crazy Taxi because it's very arcadey. It's from an arcade.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's gonna be like pitchforks coming at Mindful, but like even Simpsons Hit and Run, like it was fun, but like I feel like people hyped that game up way too much. I was like, I don't think you guys really want just a better looking graphics of Simpsons Hit and Run. It's not gonna hit you the same way you're
No.
thinking.
No, it's one of those games where you have more fun memories than it aged well, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like I was hinting at earlier, again, thank you, JW, for the Dreamcast. I appreciate it. That was the big surprise.
Sure,
I
no
was gonna
problem.
say earlier. But just going back to some of those games, like I love them all. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a freaking great time going back. I'm sure you feel the way at the N64, but it's also like you said, it's kind of shattering those beautiful memories you had because you go back and you're like, oh yeah, this was a mechanic that I forgot it had in it, or like oh that was the whole game. And like I don't know, some games hit you different than they used to when you were playing them as a kid, right? Maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like the GoldenEye. Everybody says GoldenEye is like the best multiplayer game, that it was the best game, blah blah, and all that. If you play it today, you'll hate it.
I can vouch for
Like
that.
unless you keep your nostalgia glasses on, right?
Yeah, and I do try that. Like I try to think of like, okay, this game came out in X year, so I'm just gonna visualize it from that year. But it is hard, right? When you have expectations like fast travel and be even something as easy as moving your camera. Like some games back then really struggled with camera angles and letting the character have that free motion.
Hell yeah, GoldenEye, just aiming,
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, oh, it's just funny.
or even Perfect Dark. Like I love playing it, but aiming is a chore.
Oh god, yeah. I after that stream, I definitely recommend sticking with auto aim. It's just the way to go in that game.
Oh, there must be what does it not aim well with the double joystick, anyways?
Not really. I don't know if you were watching there when I was trying. It just maybe it's the sensitivity of it because it just like you tap it and it'll shoot to the right, it'll shoot to the left, and it's like okay, like I just want you to like line up the shot, man. Like it's a
Well, I'm
lot.
wondering if something you can change in the options, though.
It might
The
be.
sensitivity and all that, right? Because you have two sticks, so it should be more fun.
Yeah, yeah. Logically, you think so, right? Maybe it is. Maybe I'll check the settings and see maybe if there's something there because that's literally all it needs. If the sensitivity was calmed down a little bit, it probably would be a lot easier to aim. But again, right with the auto aim, it was like every shot was just lined up. So and it was I think the first two levels there, it was pretty much like one hit kills on most of the guys. So it wasn't too bad.
Oh, at on agent level, sure, the first level. But if you go higher, the difficulty takes more, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be a lot harder. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I don't think there was really anything spectacular, unless you had something that you saw that you wanted to bring up for gaming news.
No, just that there's the Flintlock game that I've talked before about, a AA game that looked really cool, which is a bit Souls-like-ish.
Has that come out already, JW, or no?
It's coming out this week, so I'm
Oh.
gonna be receiving it this week. I don't know if I'll have time to play it before I go on vacation.
Yeah, because I guess
But
you're not taking anything with you.
I'm hyped for that. What? Sorry.
I said you're not taking anything with you, eh? When you go on vacation, like none of your gaming systems.
It sort of cut out again. I don't
Oh,
understand.
no worries. I said you're not taking anything with you, eh, for your vacation, like no gaming stuff.
Nope.
Yeah.
No that, no phone, nothing.
Ooh. Uh,
Well, that's not true. I'll be bringing my laptop to write, but otherwise nothing.
no, that's fair. I mean, that'd be the perfect setting to write into. Um.
All that then because I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you said before. When you get an idea, you have to start jotting it down.
Yeah, because otherwise I'll keep thinking about it and all the details and everything, and then not sleep.
So before I get into that whole crazy list there that we did on my birthday stream, it's been about 3 weeks, JW. I know you had a few Stellar Blade images you posted that you were playing, but has there been any other kind of games that you wanted to talk about that you played in the last
Oh,
2
that's
weeks?
true. I finished it actually. I've done all the endings. I've platinumed it.
Oh, you did all 3 endings? Holy, way to go!
Yeah, yeah. So in total, it took me 102 hours to do everything.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty good for beating the game 3 times.
Yeah. Well, the third time was the fastest because I was literally doing nothing else than the main quest, and I put it on the easy difficulty to go fast, and I was like ripping apart the enemies with my skills easily. So that was way faster than the first and second playthrough, because with the second playthrough I did the new game plus, which had a bunch of new stuff to do as well. So in total, encompassing or around 100 hours.
And I know you're a big fan of the game, right? But like in all honesty, is it worth it going through it 3 times? Like, did you find value out of that last ending?
Um, yes and no. I have trouble doing games in general multiple times, right? Like something like with Bloodborne, I did it 2 times in a row, and then the third time, when I did the third ending, it took me a while before I went back into it and did the third ending. For some reason, I always struggle with this with the third playthrough, and so I think it was the first and second playthrough was more worth it because I did the new game plus, which added a bunch of new stuff to do, right, and to unlock and everything. So that was more interesting than when I did the third playthrough. But you're asking about the narratively speaking, the ending. It's hard to say because the endings are not. They're a bit vague to what it means.
Okay, so it still had like that first impact that you felt.
Well, I think I preferred my second playthrough because the boss at the end is different than my other playthroughs, and I preferred that boss over the boss that I fought on my other 2 playthroughs.
Oh, that's cool. So it's always a different final boss.
No, there
Oh,
are 2 different final bosses. It's
oh,
just there
oh.
are basically when you come to the end, there's 2 choices to be one choice to be made between. There are 2 choices to be made, right? But there's one of those choices. There's a sort of secret ending if you've done certain things in the game to to be able to achieve that. And
Okay.
well, the first time I did it was by accident. Actually, on my first playthrough, I wasn't aware that was the secret ending. But that I would think is probably the secret ending is probably the canon true ending. But yeah, I'm trying not to spoil anything.
No, no, I totally get it. Okay, okay. Uh,
But narratively speaking, Blade is weak compared to all the other asks of the game. So I don't think the endings, whichever endings you chose, I don't think it was. I was. It didn't change my view on it, right? Like it didn't blow me away or anything. It's more gameplay wise on the bosses wise. I preferred one of them over the other.
Which lines up with what you said at the very beginning, right? When you first did that playthrough, I think you hinted at the fact that if like near the people that made Near Automata, if they did the storytelling for that game, and then I think you said what was it the combat wise for the other game, those would be two perfect games because they both will take the best of each other's features, right?
Well, yes and no, because Nier Automata has great combat as well. It's just I think the maybe level design and because the world the open the sort of open levels of Nier Automata are not interesting or anything, right? They're quite bland in terms of color schemes, in terms of it's not very exciting. It's like an empty world, and maybe that's the point because everything's wiped in that universe. But Stellar Blade, everything is interesting on your way. There's a bunch of levels and ways to go through those certain levels, bunch of side quests, and I thought it was more interesting and more fun to go through the levels of Stellar Blade than Nier Automata.
Okay.
So I just think both of them I would want to see a collaboration because I think they would complement each other well, but not specifically only narratively, right? I think they
Okay.
would just help each other out in many aspects.
Okay. Has there been any other games other than Stellar Blade?
Is sorry, what?
Has there been any other games other than Stellar Blade?
Um, Strangely enough, I've been trying out the gacha game called Wuthering. Uh, what is it called? Wuthering Waves or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were speaking pretty highly of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've come to a point where I feel like it's a bit useless to play it, but now, but uh, yeah, no, it's not my type. It's not usually my type of games. These things, I tried Genshin Impact a while back, played it a bit, saw what it was, and sort of, I don't know. When I had multiple characters unlocked after a good amount of hours, I think I just stopped playing because I don't know. I could see, I guess, the sort of the gameplay loops behind it, and I don't think I was
Yeah.
interested in the money to put in to unlock stuff and all that. But well, also I was very distracted with Genshin Impact because there's a lot that looks like Breath of the Wild. Like there are
Yep.
specific parts that looks exactly the same as Breath of the Wild, like almost if it was copied. That distracted me a bit as well. And so anyway, Wuthering Waves is a bit in that same genre of you have three characters that you switch between in a team. You can unlock other characters, the gacha style, and you keep getting rewards by logging in, doing tasks, and all that. I The reason I got into it actually is because I saw the intro of the art style really I thought was very cool. Then saw the intro and the intro really hooked me. Like it was such an interesting intro, a cool intro, and afterwards the story was interesting and for a while. But now I've sort of reached a point where they're like, okay, well to progress you need to be level 40 or whatever, level something. So I need to do other quests and I can't progress through the interesting bits I wanted to do. And now I'm starting to feel the sort of useless daily tasks just so I get enough material to level up my characters. So I'm slowly starting, I think, to uh, let go of Wuthering Waves, but we'll see.
I get it. Like
Um,
I like Genshin too. But I do agree with you. Like after, I don't know, whatever it was, 20, 30, 40 hours I put into it, um, it's always like again, it's always fun to play with like Solarial and Z-Chick and Tommy. They're great with that game. But when I'm by myself, I was kind of like, okay, like it's okay. I'm kind of having fun, I guess.
Well, I like it more than Genshin Impact. I find it does more in the gameplay department, and maybe it's because I didn't understand Genshin in the past. I don't
Maybe, yeah.
remember exactly how the gameplay went, but I find gameplay wise it does more with the skills when with the you can counter attacks. You know, if you hit a certain attack at the right moment and you interrupt it, it does a stylish counter, and then you can answer back with another attack or with a switch of characters. You can do a special dodge that then you follow up with a different attack. You know, it does all sorts of cool stuff like that that I don't think there is in Genshin Impact,
Yeah.
except between switching between the characters. That's a given, but there are there are multiple combat stuff like that that I think is missing. That actually got me hooked into it and made me like playing it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Because yeah, in Genshin, it's like you could combine down or whatever it is, water and lightning, right, on an enemy, and then that'll do more damage. Which I've never really been a fan of, just because I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
It just feels like a lot of work. You know, it's like I don't want to remember every freaking combination to put together.
Yeah. I mean, there's something similar with elements and, combining teams and making the optimized team and all that. But for now, it hasn't been a problem. Like, it's not concentrated on that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's interesting because that company, I don't remember, I think it's Kuro Games, but I don't remember, has made, I think that's they've made mobile games, and I think right primarily their previous games is mobile games,
Okay.
and so their previous game was it's Kuro Game Studios. So the previous game was something like Grey Knight something, I can't remember, um, and it has very interesting combat gameplay with that, even I would say better than Wuthering Waves somehow. It was called Punishing Grey Raven, actually. It has that same super interesting art style and stylishness to it, and but I find it does combat better because you have like multiple buttons to do combos, but then if you dodge, you have a new set of combos you can do with certain attacks or when you counter. And it's super developed, I find, for a mobile game. I was very surprised. But of course, it's plagued with you can do this dungeon if you have 3 vials of
Oh
whatever
yeah.
X, right? So then you have to come back tomorrow because it's a mobile game.
Yeah.
So that's why I sort of I got disconnected with this one, Punishing Grey Raven. Even though the combat was great, like the whole mobile aspect of it really threw me off. So then I stuck with Wuthering Waves because it wasn't that egregious. It was mostly a gacha. It didn't have the mobile trappings of its predecessor. And as of now, I haven't had the feeling that I'm being blocked in any way. I can do a bunch of stuff. I get a bunch of reward that I can spend, and it's fun. It's interesting, and I like the characters as well. It's nice. Like I'm surprised that I'm into it as much as I am.
Is that pisses me off too when you got a good mobile game and yeah, it has that mobile cursed. I mean, I get it. I know they probably make tons of money, but in the back of my head, I'm always like, man, if you just like pop this out as an indie game, like on Switch or like Steam or just somewhere, like I feel like they could have done so much better with that result because there are some really good mobile games. But you're right, they're so full of that shit that it's just like I don't even want to play this. Like I don't want to wait a whole other day.
Well, the Eastern market has always had that though. Like even before we've had DLCs here in the West.
Yeah.
In the Eastern market, like Maple Story and other Korean games,
Oh
they've
yeah.
had skins to buy and DLCs and all that. It's just the West have adopted the Eastern way of doing things, plus on top of the Western system. So you pay $80 plus the DLCs and everything, right?
Yeah. But see, like,
Instead of a free to play and the DLCs.
like Maple Story is a good one to bring up, right? But like even that one, like I could still go from point A to point B and do a whole bunch of stuff. But you're right. If I want to, I could buy skins and all that. But it's like it's the fact
Well,
that
I mean, it got worse as time went on.
oh, did
Like
it?
at first it was just the skins, but then it got worse with time.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I saw a
unfortunate.
video about it recently, so that's why I know so vividly about it. But yeah,
Oh,
like you, I remember playing it. I didn't remember the whole paying aspect of it. I was too young for it to, you know,
yeah, me too.
to inspect all the predatory schemings, right?
Yeah,
But you see, in the Eastern market or the Korean market, 50% of it is the DLCs and skins and all that.
wow,
Of how they make money.
that's crazy. That's ridiculous. But I guess
Yeah.
I get it too, because like I guess when they stick with a game out there, right? Those games usually last quite a while. It's not like they're just one flame after another, right?
Yeah, well, internet cafes were a big thing in
Yeah,
the Eastern places, right? It was a big community thing. So you would think probably that people wanted to show off their characters, and it was a sign of, wealth and being
exactly.
cool, of
Yeah,
having this big special skin and bundle, or I don't know what, right?
yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, yeah. It was a good flex for that person. Man, even think about like I'm even surprised that they brought what do they call it? New RuneScape. Like that was another one I remember playing as a kid, right? And like even looking at it now, I'm just like, why would you want to play this? Like, I mean, it was fun back in the day, but like I just don't see the appeal anymore to it.
Oh
Um,
no, it's a terrible game.
yeah,
No, really. Like back then, it's just we had nothing else, but
yeah.
it's terrible, RuneScape.
It was like that was your free online game that you could enjoy, right? Like that's why we all played it. But yeah,
Yeah,
it really was.
like between that and WoW, you would choose RuneScape, really?
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like over World of Warcraft? Like I don't like World of Warcraft, but for sure it's a better game than RuneScape, objectively speaking.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, that game. Um, what was I gonna ask? Oh, are you still playing GTFO?
Well, I would love to, but me and my friend have been busy lately, so we haven't had time to play it yet. I wouldn't play it alone.
Okay.
GTFO.
Okay. No, no, I was curious if you fell off of it or if it was just like you couldn't find someone to play with.
No, no, it's just we were busy.
Fair enough. Was there any other ones GW that you've been playing?
Um, I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I've tried a bit of the first Descended before it fucked my computer, but
You actually got to play a little bit before it crashed?
yeah,
Oh wow.
basically, what happened is, and I'm pretty sure it's my computer, not the game. It's that the game installed fine, played it. I'm pretty sure my specs are not cannot handle the game, but went and played it anyways. Then there was an update. I couldn't install the update. It kept saying that there was an error with my disk. Tried to uninstall, install. Then it was saying my disk was corrupt, and I haven't been able to reinstall it on my PC since then. So I'm pretty sure my computer is just dying, and that I've pushed it too far with the first And I mean, I played it on the PlayStation 5 as well, but I thought it controlled better with the PC.
How
And well, I mean, speaking of predatory practices, it's a Korean game by Nexon, so of course there's a lot of enormously amount of grinding if you want to unlock stuff with like a 3% chance of getting the part that you need. Because okay, I'll start over. The First Descendant, cool looking game with a bunch of different characters and powers you have, right?
Yeah.
You get to choose between one out of three characters when you start. I chose the Ice Lady because she seemed to have an interesting kit of throwing ice and slowing and freezing people, so it seemed cool. And I won't lie, she's a good-looking character. And so, well, they're all good-looking, really. They're all cool looking. And so you have that. Everybody has a grapple as well. You can grapple to multiple platforms and run around and kill everything in your sight. It's like you have guns, but like almost like modern guns. So normal. Imagine, let's say, an assault rifle from Call of Duty mixed with powers, characters with powers,
Okay.
and so everybody have their own powers, their alt and all that, right? So in that sense, it's a bit like Destiny almost, because there are also energy weapons and stuff like that. But as a third person and not a first person. So you have a bunch of, and also the mission structure is very reminiscent of Destiny. Of you go in this open map and you have a bunch of different missions you can interact with and redo multiple times. But then it becomes a bit like Warframe in the sense you have multiple characters you can unlock and have. You have limited slots for them, of course, that you can expand with real money.
Of course.
And of course. And so you can either buy these characters or you can grind for them. So by grinding, it means finding the 6 or 4 different parts needed to make this new character, which is through certain missions. And through these missions, you have a percentage of chance of getting that part. So let's say 4%. So you need to do 100 times the same mission until you get that part. Do that 4 to 6 times to get for all the parts. Then you have to assemble them. Then you have to wait for like days until it's ready, or you can skip and pay for it to be ready now. And it's full of ways like this. It's like I said, in that sense, it's a lot like Warframe.
Yeah.
So it's like a mix between Destiny and Warframe.
It's bad enough when you're waiting for that one loot drop to happen, but then on top of that, to wait even longer for it to go together. Holy shit!
I mean, the system itself, I don't mind it per se. I mind that it's let's say it's 3% chance that you get that drop, right? That I mind. I would rather that it be less grindy. So, I mean, it's fun. I would say it's mindless fun. It's not a great game per se. Like 7 out of 10. I would say it's good. It's mindless fun. It doesn't have much depth to it. Like the story and universe. I mean, it all looks good because it's Unreal Engine 5. So the presentation is very nice, but in terms of world characters and all that, it's not invested into it.
No, I get you. And you know what? I was wondering, like, I don't know if this is one of the reasons for you, but like, do you feel like it's not hitting the same chords that like Concord is? I don't know why. Like, it started off like I was like, Concord, you missed the ball, you changed it up. But the more and more I hear about that fucking game, the more I'm like, okay, I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to see how this is gonna play out. I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, me too. Like, I haven't played it.
No, me neither.
And at first, I wasn't interested with it because the cinematic trailer really fucking twist me up.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
saw the cinematic trailer, I was like, "Oh, it's so cool! It's going to be like a cool single-player game. Like I'm really into the characters and all that."
Yep.
And then it's just a fucking hero shooter multiplayer.
I
Then I wasn't interested. But then I heard people talking about how the game works and the characters and all that, and it sounded actually really cool. I'd like to try it, but I'm not ready to pay it on launch, and if it's just $40.
Well, okay. What was it? Who was it now? I think it was the Super Show Discord. Was that the one where they said that you don't actually get to pick your character? Like it kind of does it for you.
Yes,
That's so cool.
but,
I like that
but
idea.
that's not entirely true. That's
Ah,
in competitive mode specifically, where I think it's something along the line of each round you cannot pick the same character you had the previous round, so you have to choose something else. Uh, it's that, or it's something like if you won the previous round, you have to pick another character the next round, something like that.
that's kind of cool.
And
That's a neat mechanic.
well, I thought it was super interesting. I like the idea because you have to diversify yourself with the characters. You don't have to stick with one character, right?
Yeah. Plus two, like
But
if you're
here's the thing: it's not also entirely true because you can have like a team of variation of characters, so you can pick the same character that has a different variation on certain skills. So what does this mean? It means, let's say you have a team of 3 plant guys. So there's one variation where you heal better, and there's another variation where your skill changes to where you do more crits or something like that. So you
oh,
can choose multiple times the same character, but not exactly the same, right?
that's interesting. Okay, wow. So you
But
can,
yeah, that's all. That is super interesting.
yeah. Like I said,
Although I was hearing the game modes weren't anything new or interesting.
I mean,
It was deathmatch, bomb, and all that.
yeah, but like I mean, if you have those like different kind of mechanics and like you're saying like if someone's really freaking good as the healer, let's say, and now they're forced to play as support or something, or offense or whatever, like I'm okay with that. I think that's kind of cool. I think
Yeah,
that
me too.
yeah, like I'm okay pushing the tank
Yeah, people
or
were talking about it negatively, but I thought it was a very cool idea. And
yeah.
the gadgets that you put on a previous round will stick all the way through the game until someone triggers it. So let's say in the first round you put mines, and it didn't detonate in that first round. In the second round, it will still be there on the map.
Oh, sick. Okay, that's
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah. See,
And so what I really like about Concord, from what I understand, is that there's no classes like pigeonholed classes like tank, uh, carry, or whatever, right? Like multiple characters have multiple functions, and that's something I really love.
yeah.
Because I'm sick of seeing all these heroes, all these multiplayer games with all the same class system or pigeonhole role where you're tank, you're stuck at being tank, or you're
Yeah.
fucked because you don't have that type of role, right?
So true. Yeah, yeah. And
So having characters that can do multiple roles is super interesting to me and have different weird abilities. For example, there's this big robot that sort of sucks up. It's the robot in the cinematic trailer. It sucks up a bunch of trash around the map,
oh yeah.
and then it can throw bombs with it. Like it turns it into a bomb, and you throw it at someone. And there's a bunch of weird stuff like that seems super interesting.
See, like, Nikita, now this kind of pisses me off in a way too, because you think about all the stuff we've heard in the last 2 weeks, and all I'm thinking about is like, fuck PlayStation. When you advertised this game and you knew that people like, there was no way in their mind they didn't realize people would be a little disappointed that it was a looter shooter, right? why not brag about all this shit? Like that would have been so cool to follow up.
Oh, it's not a looter shooter.
Or sorry, yeah. But yeah, like why not brag about all this mechanics and stuff like that? Like to me, if I would have heard all of that after seeing the trailer, I'd be like, okay, I forgive what I saw. I'm interested in what you guys are trying to throw down with this game, right? Like,
Yeah, they should have had an interview with a dev or something, right?
yeah,
To sell it.
especially,
Because all this that I talked about, I learned it from SkillUp, watching SkillUp's video about it,
oh,
and his negative aspect seemed like cool aspect to me. So I think I would have had more time. My problem though with it is that all this sounds cool, but I'm too scared that nobody's going to buy it, so I don't want to buy it day one.
so true. Yeah, right. Like it could be a
Because
big
a
flop,
multiplayer with no one is not worth it.
and it's not free to play, right? Like this is one you have to purchase.
Yeah, it's $40, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're probably in the US. In Canada, it's probably more.
Oh yeah,
I can't check.
we always
But
pay more. But
yeah, always.
I believe because like what's that one? Like you said, Hypercharge, right? That was Xbox's big launch for that stuff, and they were charging the same thing, $30 to $40.
Yeah, it's probably the same price as Helldivers was.
Oh yeah, or Helldivers as well. Yeah,
Helldivers 2, I mean, when it released.
yeah. I'm excited to see. Like I said,
But yeah, no. So it changed it from I'm not interested to I've put Concord on my wish list and seeing what's going to happen. But yeah, no. Concord in Canada is $50, not 40.
ouch, that's a big price tag too for that kind of
Yep.
game.
Yep, exactly. For that kind of game that most likely most people won't play. If we're looking at how many people tested the beta,
Yeah.
not many people will buy it.
See, it's a shame. Like I'm glad that you're on
For sure.
that you're on the same mindset with me when it comes to those kind of mechanics. Because like I'm just hearing that gets me excited, right? And then that's like to think that people like wouldn't be excited over that. It's like come on, like this is actually different. This is not what you played before. Someone's actually
Well, the
trying.
mistake is that they put a price tag. They should have made it free to play, and you
Yeah,
have to pay skins.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't mind that, right? Or even like stupid shit like like oh you unlock comic books or you pay for those comic books because I mean there's a story to that game. Like there's definitely something that's really intriguing about
Yeah,
that world. So I'd be down. $2, whatever. I unlock a few comic books or maybe a few illustrations or whatever the case is. Like I'd be okay with that.
you know what? I just might buy it. It comes out 23rd of August. By that time, I'm probably going to have a new PC. So I could probably buy it, play less than 2 hours, and refund by Steam if it's not my thing.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah,
Or if I see nobody plays it.
yeah, yeah. Really
So I might
curious.
just do that. But for now, it's just in my wish list.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, if you do end up getting it, definitely, I'm down to hear all about it because yeah, I'm really intrigued. It's too. I don't think it's coming out on PS4. I think it's just the PS5. So it'll be a while before I get
Yeah,
to
no, it's.
that.
I think it's too demanding for the PS4. But yeah, no, it's PS5 and PC, so you can buy it on Steam as well. But uh, it's written in big on the Steam store. PlayStation Network account required, subject to PlayStation Terms of Service and User Agreement. PlayStationNetwork.com/terms of service. So basically, the Helldivers 2 situation of you need a PlayStation account,
We're not going through this again.
even if you're on PC. But now it's saying it in advance instead of that. Helldivers 2 thing is super weird.
Yeah,
Situation where you used to not be required, and then they require it, but PlayStation is not in every country, so they're basically cutting their clientele. So weird.
yeah. Like that was the dumbest part about the whole situation, right? It's like you literally just xed it out for so many places. Like it made no sense.
I find PlayStation tend to do that. They get too big or too big headed, and then they do something really stupid like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Sorry, Tommy. I saw you shout out a message there. You were giving one of your games a shout out. So, would you say Gems of War Immortals update today? Basically, new Immortal troops, special troops that go way beyond mythic level and give bonuses to other things like pets and kingdoms. That's cool, but that is just another reason why I just don't think I can. I mean, I'll probably play Gems of War again for sure, but it's just like there's so much to get caught up on that game. Like, holy shit, that game just keeps evolving. See,
Well, have you said already on the stream? Um, what have you played, Mindful?
no, 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 not yet. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
go ahead. Because I haven't played anything else.
um, I was gonna say a quick little shout out though. I did like your quick review there of was it Long Legs, that movie that just came out. I'm really excited.
Right? Yeah.
I was really excited to try it out too. And now I'm a little bit worried, or I'm so worried to watch it. But now I'm a little bit worried to watch it because I was like, shit, I had the same expectation you did going into that one. Like, I'm expecting this to be
Oh,
the.
it's it's not bad, but it's not great either. It's good, and
It just didn't scare
it's
you as
because
much as people made it sound like it was gonna scare you, right?
well, the marketing are stupid. They're making it sound like if it was a scary movie, but it's actually more of a suspense thriller than anything else. And
Oh, okay, okay.
I mean, there are creepy stuff. It's mostly suspense and creepiness more than scary or jump scares, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. Because yeah, the marketing makes it sound like you'll leave the theater, like this is gonna traumatize you.
But yeah, no, the person that made the movie, like the cinematography, is awesome. That's probably its biggest strength. It's just I find the substance doesn't. It's not as great as that. It's simple, especially for a detective thing where there are not a lot of twists and turns really.
Yeah, was it you were saying there not as much like a detective work for detectives being in it, right?
Well, you follow like FBI agents going after someone, a
Okay,
serial killer,
okay, okay.
and there's a bunch of weird shit that happens, and yeah, no, it's hard to say without spoiling
No, no, I
anything, but
totally get it. But I'm like I'm in the same boat as you. Like when it comes to like detectives or cops and all that. Like I do like the behind the scenes. Like scanning the environment. Where the last thing took place or looking at the evidence and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm a nerd. I like that kind of shit. Like I like seeing how people think and how they put things together. So
but
there's
that's a problem I find. You don't see necessarily how the people think. They sort of stumble upon the clues almost, and it's pretty
oh
straightforward. Like it's pretty straightforward. That's the problem. There's not a lot of twists and turns.
yeah, that's too bad. Okay, well whatever. I'll still watch it. But yeah,
But yeah, no, it's still a good movie. Like it's worth a watch. It's just I'm not sure I would recommend going to see it at a cinema, especially if it's noisy. Like if you have people talking during the movie, or if you're one of those couches that makes a lot of noise when you move, because it's a very quiet movie as well.
oh wow,
So,
really?
yep.
Um, yeah, so that was my big thing for the movie. Before I jump into all the stuff I did on my birthday stream, um, the Obi game special, I've still played it. Sad to say, because I found out it's only a 4 hour long game, and apparently it's available on all platforms. So if you do want to try it out, I recommend getting it for a cheap price. I think it's around $10 to $15 Canadian. I got it for
Oh, what's the game?
$2. It's the Suicide of Rachel Foster. It's basically easiest way to describe this, if it's your game or not. If you enjoyed What Remains of Edith Finch and games like that, you'll probably enjoy this one too.
Oh, walking simulators.
Yeah, but
It's currently $3 on Steam.
yeah.
It's 90% off.
See, it's really cheap. I guess the selling point for this one is it's just a really interesting dialogue between two people. like I said, I haven't finished it yet. I have my own theories on how this game is going to play out, but I am interested to see like what happens with these two characters. I think a similar situation to this was Firewatch had this example where it's your Nikki, sorry, I think her name was. You're in your mother's old hotel room. Basically, your dad died. The whole structure has to be sold, or something has to be figured out with it, right? So she has to go there, analyze the property, figure it all out. She keeps alluding at this horrible incident and yada 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 that she went through there, and that's why she left. And it's been 10 years since she's come back, and you know you'll find us all at the very beginning. There's a snowstorm that happens, so you get trapped there. And as you're progressing through the game, it'll go like day 1, day 2, day 3, which is really cool. I like when they decide to cut those moments off. The game never warns you; it'll just end. It'll be like day 2, and then you start the next day's scenario. But the part that's like the two parts that are really interesting is one, it's very suspenseful. So I've played, I'm guessing I'm at the 3 hour mark in this game. Nothing has really happened, but there's been so much suspense and so much like, okay, I feel like if I turn this corner, I'm finally going to come across someone, and like nothing happens. But like there's always that feeling like it's going to
You're
happen. Sorry,
not really selling, really. You're like saying, "Oh yeah, nothing happens." Every time you think something will happen, there's nothing happening in this game.
because I don't want to like ruin stuff. Like it's all part of the dialogue. It's literally the dialogue between Nikki and the guy that's on your cell phone or walkie-talkie or whatever you want to call it. It's like I think it takes place in like the 70s. Because like your cell phone is like that big, huge brick thing. It's not like a cell phone nowadays. Um, and it's always between those two people, right? And I said my theory, like I'm thinking that the guy on the phone is obviously not being as honest as he should be because he knows a lot about you, and there's a lot of times that she'll question that, and he never talks about his past, and she's tried. You have options in the dialogue of what you want to say, right? And there's been many times I pushed, and he's like, now's not the right time. We'll talk about another time, right? And he's even had like expressed his feelings for her, like it's really good connection between two people because there are parts where it's like a genuine conversation, and there are other parts where you're just like, what this fucker just say to me? Like it doesn't add up. And the environment that you're in, this old hotel room, pros and cons. So the con too, I'll say right off the bat, is that within the first 10 minutes you get a key. This key unlocks every single door in the room. I don't like that. They should have never done that, because if you're me, I went right away through every single door in that place trying to see what's going on. And later on, when events happen, it kind of like ruins it because, like, example, you're going to go to this one church, and like an event happens later on that sends you to the church, would have made it so much better, I found, if I did find the church on my own. If I was just,
Yeah, that seems like a design oversight.
yeah,
Really, that's so
yeah.
stupid, actually.
Yeah,
Why did they do that?
I know they should never. And you literally get this key within the first 5 minutes. So, and the first day goes
What
on.
the fuck?
Yeah, and the first day goes on for quite a while. So, like, I mean, like I said, you could just explore everything you want in the first day. But then when those events happen later on, right? Obviously, you can interact with stuff a little more. Like, let's say I go to the church and there's a sleeping bag on the floor. I might want to click on it the first day, but nothing's going to happen. It just says sleeping bag. But then, let's say day 6, it finally allows me to be in the church. Then I can actually click on the sleeping bag and a story unfolds. Every time you interact with something, you always have a phone call with that guy. He'll be like, "Oh, what'd you find?" You'll be like, "Oh, I found the sleeping bag." "Oh yeah, sometimes your father liked to let mountain hikers sleep in the church. It's nothing weird, so don't worry too much about it," kind of thing.
It's nothing weird.
Yeah, right. It's like everything gets brushed off, which is why I have my suspicions about him. Like I said, it's only 4 hours, so hopefully by next week I can give you guys an update. But yeah, the 3 hour mark was probably the best. That's, I think, when you finally get into the meat and potatoes of the story. So there you finally discover like secret paths. So like I said, the first part of the day 1, right, I thought I unlocked every room, and then later on I find out, okay, there's actually other rooms I could have gone into, and like that's kind of cool. um But yeah, just like for me, it's literally just the dialogue, and I don't want to spoil anything with it because it's a short enough game anyway where anyone could finish it in a day. Um, but it's a dialogue between Nikki and that guy that is just interesting. It's just interesting to hear. If it was if it was a movie, I would just want to watch it just to hear what happens between those two. Like that's literally the best selling point I can give you guys is that the dialogue between the two characters is worth the time invested in that game, just to hear how it's going to play out. And it's never like anything crazy, but it's just like it's those casual conversations. Like I said, when he expresses his feelings towards her, he does it at like the worst possible time, and like you just like you feel like it's like that what do you call it that uh stalker would be like in a thriller movie, you know. It's like why the fuck are you saying this now, man? Like this is the worst time to fucking say this. And like she's even like in the dialogue options you have a lot of like blowing him off speeches like fuck off and all this, right? And it's like she's saying all this and he's just like still expressing himself and you know is still expressing his feelings, and it's like dude, like right now I think someone's in this fucking hotel room, like I don't even want to talk to you. But yeah, just a lot of good dialogue options. What's the name of the game? The Suicide of Rachel Foster. And by the way, Rachel Foster is again. You find this all within the first 5 minutes. I'm not spoiling anything. You find out that Rachel is your father's mistress, and he met her when she was 60 years old. So it's like there's already like some weird shit going on when you jump into this game, and like, I don't even think it mentions the mother's name, the actual mother's name. But it talks a lot about her. I'll have to see again. I honestly don't remember the mother's name. The father's name is Leonard. I remember
And
that.
it's not related to me or my family at all.
You and your family.
Yeah, because it has the same last name.
Oh yeah. No. I didn't even think of that. That's funny. That's too funny. No, not at all. Yeah, it's like I said, but if they didn't do that stupid key thing in the beginning, there would have been a lot more excitement when you went to certain rooms. Um, but yeah, just the dialogue. Honestly, just the dialogue to those two characters was really well done. And out of a walking simulator, that's all I want. Like what remains of Edith Finch, I loved the visuals. I loved, that whole story that got unfolded. I think there was another one I played before, Gone Home, same idea, right? And even in those games, right, like nothing really happens. It's just the story, I guess, that you're progressing with that keeps you interested.
Well,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I know.
Was there anything else?
I'm a sucker for walking simulators, so.
Oh, I know.
um, we did more Dragon Ball Z. We in the past 3 weeks, other than the whole big stream, we beat that boss in Bloodborne, so that was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, so happy to have that victory. um, yeah, I just did more leveling up. I did beat Nappa and Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, so we progressed a little bit further during that stream as well. And then yesterday I did Dynamite Cop on the Dreamcast, which was fantastic. See, again, like I like it. It was a great experience. Would I want to see a remaster of that game? Hell no. I'm more than happy just experiencing it as it is, in that time frame that it excelled in. Because it's like it's really cool. Like I do like I said, I like the way they made that game. Like I like that you have to punch walls and desks. Sorry, punch walls and desks or like whatever else to unlock these illustrations. And the illustrations are nice. The only downside I was kind of surprised on is you can't zoom in on the illustrations because some of them I like to see a little closer up. So that was kind of a miss. I don't know why. In my back of my mind, I had it that you could. Maybe I was mixing it up with Soul Calibur because I think in Soul Calibur 2 you could like zoom in and out of illustrations.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure there's like an art gallery you unlocked in Soul Calibur 2 as well. Maybe I'm wrong though. But I liked that they had the 3 different mission styles, that there was no easy, medium, and hard, but kind of where the missions were, that was your easy, medium, and hard. and then it wasn't lazy about it. Like some parts were copied. So the first mission, right, you go through the ship, you fight that Kraken guy, you end up going to Pirate Island and you take out the final boss. And then the second time was you arrive through the ship through a speedboat and you take a completely different route, fight bosses earlier than you normally would have, and the final boss this time you fight on the cruise. And I don't remember the third option is, but I think that one's when I think it's like your what do you call it, underwater diving, and you go from the bottom of the ship. But I just like the fact that older game like that, like we're talking early 2000s here. They took the objective of, hey, this is the main game, but let's approach it from three different angles and change it up each time that the player does it. And I think even after those three missions, once you beat all three, I think you still unlock one more mission, which is like a fourth perspective of how that hostage situation went down. And then, like I was showing people on the screen, you also unlock Showdown, and Showdown just lets you take on all the bosses for a time travel. So it was good. Like it had good replay value, and that's all it was trying to do, was just make people want to play this over and over again. And I definitely would. If I had a buddy, it would have been the fucking time of my life.
I find older games have a knack of doing that compared to today.
Yeah, just they knew what they were going for and they excelled in it. Like you even gave a good example there. You're talking about Stellar Blade, right? 100+ hours. Where this game, I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but still, I'm gonna play this game and I could probably play it like, I don't fucking know, 20 or 30 times by the time I reach 100 hours, right? Like the replay is quick and it's fast, and that's kind of what you need in some games. I celebrate different breed altogether, right? But there is a lot of games that are modern nowadays that I think would benefit to hacking down their game time and just finding ways to make that replay more interesting. Whether it's something as simple as,
for sure.
Yeah, like I said, with something as simple as,
like Assassin's Creed has become so fucking big.
oh yeah, yeah, it's a great example, right? Like imagine if Assassin's Creed had 3 different ways or even 2 different ways, right, for you to approach that game, and they just made it like 15-20 hours. That would change everything. It'd make it more exciting, right? Like, oh, okay, instead of,
Like I don't think I've completed an Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 2 Revelation. The last Assassin's Creed with Ezio. I think since then I've never completed fully. That's not true. Unity, I've completed it fully. So since Unity, I haven't been completing any Assassin's Creed. There's just too much.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just, it's just, I don't know, too many games now that take more than 60 hours. Like I used to think 60 hours was a lot for a video game, but like now everything's averaging between 80 to 100, and that's just ridiculous.
Well, too many games are doing open worlds when they don't need to do open worlds.
Yeah, 100%. There needs to be more linear ones.
Because, well, to me, we say this in terms of a AAA industry, right? The main industry.
Yeah,
We're not talking about indies or any of that, right? Where they have their formula of having these open world, or to make something bigger than the previous one and have more stuff in it. Well, specifically Ubisoft, they always do the same thing with all their games. It's incredible that they haven't been to court or anything for recycling constantly the same thing.
it's so funny you say, because that was that Jimmy I was talking to, and he was telling us to play the Avatar game. And I was like, oh, how is it? Like just out of curiosity, I heard some pretty good things. He's like, it's pretty much Far Cry with Avatar characters. He's like, but I'm having fun, but it's Far Cry with.
Well, that's why I'm not 100% in with the new Star Wars Outlaw coming up. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing with Star Wars Code of Paint on it.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I really hope that one does well too.
It's Ubisoft. It most likely is. They just recycle. They just recycle constantly. It's incredible. The only game I think from Ubisoft that interests me is the Assassin's Creed Hex project that they haven't really announced, and that's because it's the game designer, the weird game designer that was behind Far Cry 2 and um, Watch Dogs Legion. So he's a game designer that's pretty out there and that tries all sorts of weird stuff with his games, right? So that interests me a lot.
Okay.
Like, I'm curious of what he will do. It's more in that sense than because I'm hyped for Assassin's Creed. Because Assassin's Creed has been dead for a while now.
I'll have to look that up. Would you say it
A bit
was
like
KW? Assassin's Creed X?
Hex.
Oh, Hex.
Yeah, because it's going to be in the time of the witches of Salem and all that. So it's going to be
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a cool setting. Okay.
And like I said, the game designer attached to it does weird stuff with his game. So I'm sort of hyped to see what he'll do.
Okay, yeah.
And
I'll check that one out to see.
like even if Watch Dogs Legion wasn't great, just what they've tried to do and was super cool and interesting, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, 100% it was.
Like, it's not a good game. It's definitely isn't, but at least they tried to do something else. And yeah, I know Assassin's Creed has been dead for a while now, like Star Wars. So really, they're a great match together, actually. Ubisoft and Star Wars.
Yeah, they can't hurt Star Wars any more than it's already been hurt.
Oh, that's what I thought when I watched the Obi-Wan show, but then there's the Acolyte that came out. I'll be fair, I haven't watched the Acolyte, but it sounds way worse than Obi-Wan, and I'm not sure how that's possible.
I know. I always hear people like defending it. They're like, "Well, you got to watch the show." I was like, "Well, I want to," but it's like everything I've heard just sounds terrible. Like,
Although it's true, because I've heard terrible, well, not good stuff about the Ahsoka show, and it turns out it's really good. Actually, it was my favorite Star Wars show they've done, and so that's true. You never know. Um, the show that everybody says is the best Star Wars show, I thought was the most boring Star Wars show, was
Mandalorian.
Andor.
Yeah, the Mandalorian.
No, Andor.
Oh, Andor. Oh, sorry.
Everybody say, "Oh, it's written such in a smart way," and blah blah. I think I watched 2 episodes or 3, and it was so fucking boring. Like, sure, it was well written, but it was boring as hell. Like, I couldn't pull through.
I know. I was telling Cheyenne that the other day too. It's just between Star Wars and like Marvel and all that. Like I've lost such interest in both of those. Like,
Well, they're both run by the same people. That's why.
yeah, like I have no interest. Like, I mean, I can't. I'm really trying to think like what was the last superhero movie I actually watched. And I think it was like the first Avengers was like the last one, and then after that I stopped. I didn't watch anything else that's come out. Because
The first Avenger, you mean Captain America?
no, like the Avengers, like when that one first came out.
Oh, right.
That was literally the last like superhero movie I watched. I mean, other than like,
Well, the last good one.
yeah, maybe that's the case. Like, other than Batman.
That's not true. I'll be fair, and I'll say I actually like Avengers too. But after that, it sort of went downhill. Yeah.
Even Guardians of the Galaxy, like I really loved that first one. I had no interest.
Oh yeah.
I had no interest in watching the second one. I don't know why. I was like, it's still the same characters, but just I don't know, it didn't click with me.
Yeah. Well, second and third one are good, but they're not as good as the that first one. That first one will be a classic for sure.
Oh,
in,
yeah.
like the coming years, where everybody will go, "Oh yeah, that was a great film that came out."
Yeah, it was really well done. Really different at the time for as far as superhero movies go.
Yeah,
Um,
and had 80s music for a reason, not just because because a lot of stuff since then has had 80s music for no reason,
So
and
true.
people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, 80s! Oh, wow!
This was a good
It's the
time.
80s! Oh!"
So true.
Now we're gonna have that with the 90s.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The '90s is already
Like
trending.
it's already starting, with the remake of The Crow and other
The,
90s stuff.
the fashion, yeah.
Then it'll be the 2000s. Well, it's all. I feel like people are blending together the 90s and 2000s actually.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Um,
But eh, it is what it is, and those are trends, I guess.
oh, what was I gonna say now? Oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy. The other like good thing I think that they did really well was they had a good mix of humor and seriousness. Like I like the fact that there
Yeah.
were parts, they didn't take themselves too seriously, and then there was other parts where it just really dragged you into the story, right? Yeah, really, really.
Well, James Gunn knows when to be funny and when to be serious. Like if you watch any other of his movies, he's a really good filmmaker and he's very good with story because he has not only does he know when to be funny and when to be serious, but he has really good pacing with his movies
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. It was just that was a damn good one. Um, so yeah, so I played that ugly ass game in the beginning for a good hour there. That World Monster Hunter or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be. I think it was like
Oh,
World
yeah.
2. Yeah, that was just God, that was terrible. I said there's so many things they could have done to at least make that game somewhat better. Something as simple as like auto lock onto the enemies. Um, when you like leveled up, it would have been nice to pick health, stamina, or whatever. I felt like leveling up didn't really make much of a difference in the game. At least I didn't notice any big differences. And just like the same repetitive bosses. Like if you're gonna make a game that focus on bosses, don't get lazy with it. Like I don't care, make a red dragon and a blue dragon, but don't make the same green dragon three times I'm gonna fight, and then magically it's stronger the third time because the game said it's stronger. Um,
Yeah, Suicide Squad, the game, killed the Justice League, did that.
oh, did they?
Apparently, they have like 4 times the same Green Lantern-ish boss, but
That's so lazy.
something like that. Yeah,
I hate that
bad
shit.
game design.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna invest in that, like invest in it. Don't cut corners there. And then the first one on the chopping block was Dead by Daylight, which you did get to play twice. Um, I mean, that one's still good.
Diane is a cheater.
I know, eh? Oh, okay. And that was like the main thing I have to say though is like I've already like here and there I've made my little comments towards Xbox, but like that stream just showed me how like irritating Xbox can be sometimes. Like there were so many games. Okay, the first problem of the day was the fact that like if I install a game directly from the disc or I'm installing it as the digital download, why the fuck do I need to download the entire game and then download an update on top of that? I know it's not an Xbox problem, but that just pissed me the hell off. I was like, I think it was like Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and there was another game that required that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, you guys took like 30 minutes to download. Good night, Tommy. And then on top of that, I still have to do an update on after all of that. Like it's just stupid, especially Far Cry 4. Like there's been 2 other Far Cries. Like what other update do I need? Just fucking add it to the installation at this point. So that annoyed me. And then this was definitely an Xbox feature. I had all the games on the storage box to make it easier, so I could just take the storage box off the digital Xbox only and put it onto the one that has the physical discs, so that I could have a few extra games. And then the whole point to use that storage box is so that I can have more access on my Xbox, right? So I have more space. And then some games said, "Oh, can't be played from the external unit. You can only play this game if it's installed on the internal Xbox itself." It's like, well, then why the fuck do I have a storage box if you're not even gonna let me play games off it? Like, how fucking stupid is that? Like, that made no sense to me. That happened with Banjo Kazooie, and it happened with Golf with Friends. It wouldn't let me do it, and I think there was a third game that also gave me that warning. So that was just I don't understand. I don't understand the logic behind that one. Like, is that stupid? Like, is that me? Like, is that logical? Like, I mean, if it's literally
No, it's not. I'm just thinking there's probably a reason why
yeah, like I
most people buy PlayStation
yeah,
over Xbox.
100%. I have never had that issue pop up with PlayStation. I have an external box attached to the tooth. Shout out to Jimmy for giving me that one. Never had that pop up as a message, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? On the day I'm doing the biggest stream, you're gonna fuck around with me." Um, so yeah, there was that. Red Dead 1, Red Dead Undead Nightmare, Red Dead 2, and so whatever it was, Rockstar was the target that day. All of those games wouldn't install. I put the discs in. Um, Red Dead went to 2%, and then it just stopped installing. And the other two just kept loading as if it was gonna get ready to install, and nothing happened. I thought, oh great, my disc tray broke. Nope, every other game worked fine for installation. It was just those 4 games would not install. So I was like, well, that's really fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand what's going on today. So those are all the little behind the scenes bullshit that Mindful was dealing with. Even like your game, I had Rare Replay downloaded and it wouldn't let me pick Perfect Dark on Rare Replay, but I was allowed to pick Perfect Dark off my gaming library catalog. And it's like, well, what the fuck's the difference? Like, just launch it. Like,
So stupid.
yeah, like it didn't make any sense. So yeah, I know Mindful's been a little bitter towards it, but like this is why. Like, I mean, Xbox has just been. I feel like ever since I got the Xbox One, it's just been one issue after another, and it's such a shame. And it's even worse when people post nostalgia from Xbox 360 days, and I'm like, fuck, that was a great idea. Why the hell did Xbox take it away? Like, I actually forgot that back in the 360 days, you could have all of your buddies, the little avatars, and you could pretend like you're sitting in a movie theater with them, and then in front of you was the movie. Like, yeah, you might not get the best visual, I guess, of that movie, but it was something like lame and like fun to do with your buddies, right? Like, hey, let's all watch fucking Terminator, and there's your Xbox avatars in front. And I don't know if they could do things on top of just sitting there, but it was a cool little visual, right? Um,
If you say so, I didn't know that, and it sounds stupid to me. But
I just, like for a Discord night, right? Like, it'd be just kind of funny just to to have everyone sit there on the Xbox, I guess movie theater, whatever you want to call it.
I
Yeah,
guess so. You have extra bullshit around, but sure.
yeah. I mean, that would be the annoying part, I guess. The other thing I didn't realize that they did that someone posted was back in the day on the 360, if you like, let's say you 100%ed Halo, right? Apparently on your name badge, the one that says, like classy cats and since a member since blah blah blah, on that little thing they also put a little badge on there for every game you 100%ed. So that was cool. I didn't realize it did that. But yeah, just it's like little features like that. Or my favorite one was the indie menu. I really liked how they had that Xbox marketplace, and then they had the indie marketplace. Because there's a lot of shit games on there. Don't get me wrong, but it was interesting just like looking through there sometimes and seeing what was available.
Sure. Well, you want to know why and when it changed?
Yeah, like during the Xbox
It
One, right?
exactly when they, instead of making it about gaming, they went and advertised it as an entertainment box or whatever they wanted to call it, an entertainment hub where you could do various other stuff in it that wasn't gaming related.
Yeah,
And it all started from there. And then when it didn't sell well with that marketing, then I feel ever since Xbox One, they've been having trouble finding their footing as to what they can market themselves as. Compared to PlayStation, let's say.
it's crazy to think
Because
about.
yeah, PlayStation has always been, well, we're about games and premium experiences of games, and they haven't changed, and they've always won like that, right?
That's the thing,
And
like where was Xbox thinking? Like when they saw the PS4 launch, right? It's like, oh, well, they didn't take this option. It's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Like they realized the the PS3, did fantastic on its own. So we're just gonna take that same idea, but just make it, a better gaming experience. Like I don't know where Xbox thought that taking a completely different route for a fucking video game console was a good idea, but yeah.
well, it's because Microsoft always have that global vision in mind, right? Technically speaking, your Game Pass that is on everything and everywhere
Yeah.
is still in that same vein of vision of having your entertainment all at the same place. That was the idea, right? Oh, that's a cool thing because you'll be able to do everything that a PC does, but on a console. That was their thing, I think, of thinking of. It's just they marketed the wrong thing at the wrong people, is all.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, they've also done a bunch of bullshit as well. Like you could only share your game if you had a special code, and that you needed to share with your friend, and that it could only be used once, and a bunch of restriction like this.
Yep.
And then PlayStation just came out with the marketing. Here's how we land our games, and they just handed over the video game box at his friend.
It is
And
true
then I
though.
think they backtracked on that whole number code lending game thing.
It is true. Like, I mean, Jimmy's done that so many times with me, and it still blows me away that he can like game share a PS5 game while I'm on the PS4. Like, yeah, like there's so many things getting a PlayStation 4 that I was like, wow, a lot has changed since the PS2. Like, a lot of like good changes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I find it weird that with the PS5 you now cannot go on the internet, but otherwise
Oh,
it's no, you don't have an internet app like on PS4. I mean, you can click a link and a sort of browser will open up, but you don't have an internet app.
oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know they changed that on the
That's
PS5.
yeah, it's bizarre. I don't know what they've taken off. It's stupid, but it is what it is.
But yeah. So Dead by Daylight was kind of the same thing. Like, I mean, I didn't, how do I say this? I played maybe about an hour, I guess, combined together with both of those. And I didn't find the frustrations that Sheila was talking about, where she said it was kind of like rigged. But then again, maybe I didn't play long enough where I got to experience those players. Um,
Well, I mean, it's sort of rigged because there's one guy that has all the powers, and you're just a lonely human. But it's the how the game is designed. It's fine.
yeah, I mean,
Like it's doable.
it's just like a horror movie, right? Like if I was actually versus Freddy, he's gonna be way overpowered than me anyway. So I get that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's good. Like it's good for like a quick in and out, but it's nothing that's gonna hook me on it. I think the original charm when it first came out has kind of fizzled and died. And I mean, no shout to them. I mean, there's not much more you can do, right? Like, I mean, the general concept is get 5 generators, run out the door. How much more entertaining are you going to make that, after so many years?
Well, that's why they've relied on brands for so many years now, right?
Yeah,
Doing partnerships with known IPs.
which the Tomb Raider one you showed us today was just stupid. Like, I just don't even get that.
Yeah, no, me neither. Especially her face.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, you were right though. Like it really does look a little bit off. Like it doesn't look like Laura. Um
She looks like an alien.
yeah, yeah, she does. Well, I mean, even like who was the one that I saw there that was advertised? Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, what a random decision to make. Like,
What? Dungeons? Oh, you mean for Dead by Daylight? Yeah, that's another weird one. Sure, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough of the lore, so I don't know.
So yeah, that one was the same. I feel like honestly, because quite a few of them have taken this route, they might as well just make Dead by Daylight too, and like see what they can take to the next level, or just make a whole new different game altogether. That might be good too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Next on the list was Perfect Dark. So I mean, I had a great time with that one. It was, I went into there with a high expectation, and it still delivered. It was really interesting having you in there because I said it was nice to hear like, hey, that's not the N64 version, or oh, hey, they changed this as well. And to me, it was just all brand new again, right? So it's just like, oh wow, cool. Um, but yeah, like just the game in general was really fun. I mean, yeah, there were some parts that obviously were frustrating, like that fucking what is it, turbines or whatever with the bomb on them that you had to go back and forth 3 or 4
You
times.
didn't have to go back and forth. You went back and forth.
Because it's
Like it's hard to guide a streamer because your writing is not immediate. Like there's a delay between when you read what I write. So you go do something, like you look at something, I write something, but then you go somewhere else, then you see my thing, then you go back. So it's very hard to guide through something like this. Like in voice, I'm pretty sure like this we would be like it would they wouldn't have had so many back and forth.
that's true. That's
Um,
true. I still say the game should
but
have described that better, but that's okay.
no, I agree because the first time I did it, I activated the machines, but then I was like, okay, what else? In the machine room, and I was like, I don't get it. And I kept running around, and it took me like a very long time until I realized there was a sort of computer pad on the giant dildo machine.
um,
Because it's not in front of you. It's like really hidden on the diagonal side of it. It's super weird,
yeah,
weirdly placed.
but yeah, like the levels are really great. Um, I like the fact that you could unlock those cheats like the rocket launcher and all that. Cool concept though for anyone that's playing. We found out is that if you unlock any cheats, you can't actually advance in the campaign. So it's better to beat the game first and then play with cheats if you actually want to get through the game itself. Because yeah, it won't let you even. You can finish the level, but it won't register that you finished the level. You have to redo it without the cheats on. But those made it extra fun. Obviously, it was really cool. Like going through a level with a lot of bad guys, you already have your rocket launcher ready to go, or whatever options you chose.
The best thing about your version of Perfect Dark is that the frame rate is smooth and runs well.
Oh yeah,
That's the best upgrade from that version I could see.
yeah. Oh yeah. There was no issues whatsoever. Um, I don't know that I know there was a part you wanted to talk to me about, but I don't think I've reached that part in the
No,
stream.
you
No.
haven't.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I'm definitely going to jump back into it and finish that up because it was one of those games I didn't get to play on the N64 and only got to experience on the Xbox. And I really definitely missed out on the N64 days. So I definitely want to finish that game and just see how the ending plays out. But I am
Do
excited.
you know if you can co-op that game online since you have the 360 version? Because Perfect Dark can be co-opted on the same console, and I remember there was a scoring system right at the end, a
Yeah,
leaderboard
yeah.
where we could see me score. So I was wondering if there's an online co-op aspect to it.
I'll have to look into it. Yeah, there might be. I mean, that was kind of cool too, because for those that don't know, Jimmy doesn't really play on the Xbox very often, so that must have been like his early days of getting it. It's just kind of funny to see his name on the leaderboard. The only name
Yeah.
that was on the leaderboard. No one else apparently played Perfect Dark. But yeah, no, it's
Well, it's probably just registering the friends, right?
yeah. I mean, I have quite a bit on the Xbox. I was surprised that there wasn't. And there's a lot of achievement hunters I know too, so I'm surprised they never played that one. Um,
Well,
yeah,
because if I remember correctly, it was on Xbox Arcade initially. There's no physical version of that remastered
you're right.
Perfect Dark. So
Yeah.
it's not everybody that played on the Xbox. arcade. I know I didn't when I had an Xbox 360.
Yeah, unless you own, like I said, a Rare Replay, then yeah, you would have had a physical copy of that.
Exactly. Which is really weird when you think about it, that there's never been like a physical release or a release in the store, right, where you can buy individually.
Well, especially if you
I
think
mean, I think it could be on Game Pass right now. I don't know. It would have to be checked, but
it is, yeah, no, you can get Rare Replay on Game Pass. But I was gonna say it's even more weird because you're right about that. Because Conquer, his Live and Reloaded, that one got a physical copy. So it's weird that they wouldn't have done the same for Perfect Dark.
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's maybe not. I was gonna say there probably a bigger following of Perfect Dark than Conquer, but maybe not. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I could even see it being equal because Perfect Dark had quite a
Yeah.
bit of a fan base. But yeah. So I'm excited for the new one. I definitely want to finish this one. I still want to try out the second one. I know that one's not as popular, but I just want to see what it's.
I can't wait for you to progress through the game because I did a mission today, and holy fuck, you're gonna be lost on that level. Like holy shit! I still haven't completed it because it's harder than the other levels, but it's such a fucking maze of stuff. And so I can't wait for you to reach that other part. It's a really cool level, though, visually speaking. Like
Yeah,
the ambience of it all is awesome.
as
And I think you know what we were talking about. I was saying I don't know what Perfect Dark has over GoldenEye in in terms of why it plays better or whatever.
yeah,
It might just not be the play, but maybe the ambience of the game. Because GoldenEye doesn't have ambience really; it just has recognition of the movie, right?
yes,
Because it's very flat, the lighting, the levels, and all that. It's just you recognize that part from the movie, right?
yeah, and like I think you said before, right? I have no problem going back and playing those levels in Perfect Dark because every one of them was interesting in the way that they were just put together. I didn't have that same feeling when it came to GoldenEye, right? Like there was levels where I'm like, yeah,
Right.
I don't want to do this
Okay, so
again.
I'm not crazy.
No, God, no. You're absolutely hitting the nail on the head there.
And
Because
why do you think that is?
I said it was the way they put them together. You know, like yeah, sure, I know the bad guys are gonna be over here and all that, but it was the whole look of the level, which is so like that first one, right? Like I loved the skyscraper. I loved climbing up it. I liked going through all the different elevators. I liked that as much as that um, turbines, wherever the hell they were, those giant dildos, as you said, were frustrating. That whole level was kind of neat. There were snipers on the rooftops. There was like a beach area that you had to go through, right? Like it was just really well connected. Everything. Um,
Anyway, we've talked about this too much. We should really do a full video once we both complete the game
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
and talk about it more because we'll be talking about it all day. I have so much to say.
Well, the next one's not going to help you out any better. It's Conker's Bad Fur Day. That was a fun. I luckily, thanks to JW, I was able to figure out how to get to the catfish, which such a funny place to go into. Between them and that little cog on the wall there, those
Oh yeah, that cog is great. This
oh
sort of personality disorder cog. It's
yeah,
such a creative and cool idea. Yeah.
it was really good. I loved his little fuck off. And like I like that you could still hear him as you're playing throughout the level, like he's just swearing at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that game just nailed that humor perfectly. It knew exactly how to like, do the right amount of swearing and nudity and all that kind of stuff. It was just so good.
So were you able to pass the going up?
No, that's when Tommy came and he redeemed for the next game. Because he saw me go up there, I think like 5 times, and he's like, "You're struggling, man." And I was like, "I fucking know I'm struggling." And just because like, oh, it kills me because there's some parts you think you could just jump on, and like it looked like a platform, and then Conqueror would jump on it, and he would just keep falling. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Or like you were saying there too, I didn't realize is when you jump on rope, he kind of like slides down a little bit, and it would always be just enough to fucking knock me back down again. I'd be like, you bastard, you. Um, but yeah, I'll go back.
Yeah, no, sometimes the camera fucks you up, the perspective, yeah.
Oh yeah, totally, totally. But I mean, as annoying as it is, it's like I said before, it's always worth it to get to that next cinema scene or whatever it's gonna be. Because yeah, just the jokes are fucking golden. And that's
I
pretty.
know, right? It's just every interaction is so great.
I said to still hold that charm for how many years later. That's great storytelling. And it's heartbreaking to see that Rare hasn't got to make more games like that. You know, instead we got fucking whatever it is, Sea of Thieves out of them.
Well, that's because they've been bought by Xbox afterwards.
Ah, you
No,
know,
I'm not joking. They used to not be with individually. That's what they did. Then they got bought by Xbox, and then I don't. I can't think of any game that they've done since they're with Xbox
no,
that
that's the
was
sad
worth it.
part.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that the main people from Rare, probably left once they got bought over.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see who made Conquer and like what they've done since then. That might be a fun thing I'll look up just to see. But the
That's a good idea. I'll do that right now. Uh,
uh,
but yeah, continue.
the fourth one, again, another great choice was Fallout New Vegas. So we did a fresh playthrough on that one. I didn't get too far. I think we only got like an hour and a half into it, maybe 2 hours, which sounds like a lot, but for a Bethesda or like any of those kind of games, you're not getting too far into the story. You're more just testing out the waters. Um, it felt easier so far, but I mean, we'll see as I start to level up. I think where I really started to hit the difficulty spike in that game was going after Caesar's army. That's when I kind of got a little more frustrated with that game. But I don't know. Maybe going into it now as my second playthrough, I'll have better knowledge of where to get stem packs and stuff like that. Because I remember the first time I played, I was really frustrated because I think there was only the dock that I was able to go to get stem packs, and I don't know. It just seemed like a big old hassle. Um, Yeah, so we were gonna play Banjo Kazooie, and then that's when that unfortunately that glitch happened, which I believe Sheila redeemed for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Fantastic game. I can't remember who was on stream. I think it was Tommy or someone. I managed to convince them to get the game. It's just a really good Metrovania, Castlevania, whatever terminology you want to use. Um, I never really was interested in those. I always thought back backpedaling in a game was stupid. I also didn't like rogue games. I thought I kind of had the Jonesy for the Super Show effect. I just always thought it was dumb to like restart the game and play all over and like nothing mattered. But this game really caught me. And honestly, what intrigued me with it was its RPG element. So the fact that I was leveling up and I was making some kind of progression with my character and getting stronger. I like the fact that you could I did forget about this, so that you could find shards, and shards almost gave you like different weapon combos, which I need to. I think it's the second floor of the castle. I need to go back there and unlock the best weapon in the game. I can't remember if it's like this whip or if it's this. No, I think it's a whip you unlock. But anyway, it's the best one you can possibly get out of the entire game. And then after that, every enemy's a breeze to go through. But it has a lot of really cool art style to it. A lot of random ass enemies. Like you start off with like zombies you're fighting, and then these weird squid guys because you're on a boat, and then you go to bats. Then you fight. I think like uh, wolves. So forth, right? Like a lot of horror enemies. But then you also have this fucking giant unicorn cat that comes out of a portal and fights you, and he's like just a normal common enemy. You have this giant what do you call it? Centaur dude that charges at you. You have these giant half the screen demon overlords that like walk through the hallways and stuff. Like they go all out, and I appreciate that. Like that the boss battles too, I remember, were pretty crazy. One girl in particular, I remember, she's like this vampire that's just chilling in a bloodbath, and you walk into the room, you have your little dialogue speech, and then she pops out of the water, right? And it's all cinematic and shit. Like it's just they do a lot of cool things in that game. So if you never played it before, I definitely highly recommend it to anybody. Let's see here. Then after that it was Skyrim. So I mean, I've talked enough about that one. it was it's good. It's good for what it is. Then we bounced over to Slime. We bounced over to Slime Rancher, which is really good. I always forget how much fun I have in that game until I replay it. It's almost like the No Man's Sky effect. You just go in there to have a good time. I
Right.
I've already built my farm. I've already got all my different slimes. So now I'm just kind of grinding things out and just trying to get everything unlocked at this point. Like, oh, I need $2,000 for this. Okay, I'm gonna suck up some slime poops and sell those and make money off that. We played Rim World for like I think 30 seconds, and then Jimmy hopped in the last minute to redeem it for Dark Souls, which played on the 360 was still good. I got the Taurus Demon beat, so I was happy with that result.
You kept jumping in front of him.
I still don't.
Well, you weren't jumping. You kept dropping in front of him instead of jumping.
I swear that's how you did it before, though. Like, it was just frustrating me so much. I even took out almost.
Yeah, when the Taurus demon is right in front, but if there's a space between, no.
I guess you're right. Yeah, but there was too much of a gap in between. I mean, I didn't realize.
Okay, so I have an answer for you about what happened to the rare employees.
Oh yeah, sure. What happened?
So the person that created Conquer, Chris Seavor, left Rare in 2011.
Wow,
and
that's a long time still.
has been doing mostly voice acting, but he's made a company called Gory Detail, which made the Unlikely Legend of Rusty Pup and Parachute Sand, two mobile games, but they're not, necessarily the usual trapping of mobile. It's more like an indie game.
Okay.
And there's a mysterious third project that he's working on. So, not much since Conquer, basically. And
that's a shame.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really.
Damn. That's too bad.
I'm trying to think, because there are multiple writers on Conquer, so I'm trying to see one of them.
It's one of those things where I want you to like shout out a game and be like, they made that. But that's too bad.
But yeah, no, since Conquer, it hasn't. I think the Rare employees has just been separated since, and nothing came from it.
Well, I mean,
because he left and a bunch of other people left, and so
yeah, I think that was like one of the first companies, right, that Xbox bought out when they did that whole thing. So I can only imagine how that conversation went down, right? Like, hey, we're not going to let you have that creative power, because they must have said something. Because there's no way you go from, like I said, look at Rare Replay. Like there was so much selection that they had on the N64, and then you take control of them, and they literally make, Sea of Thieves. That's the only thing I can honestly think of that Rare has made on the Xbox since then.
And the people from Conquer are not on Sea of Thieves. It's new employees.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, what a shame.
Anyway, that's it. That's the conclusion. So back to I don't remember, what was the game.
The last one that I played was Dark Souls that we were just talking about.
Right.
There was like a few in between when everyone was sleeping, but like I was literally at that point, like I was just trying to stay awake, so I would just like ball hopping through games. I think I played Borderlands the pre-sequel. I think that was the longest one. I played that for about 2 hours. Trying to convince Jimmy to play that one. He said he didn't get too invested into it, but I told him like stick around. I find the story in that one was really well done to the point that it changed my perspective on Borderlands 2. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, like because it just gives you a different idea of Hans Jack, and it gives you a different idea of the Vault Hunters, and I really liked that. I liked how they made that kind of twist. Um, you know, yeah, it just if you haven't played it before, I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, it was really cool. Like I said, when I was done it, I was kind of like, wow, I'm gonna play that game differently now on Borderlands 2. Um, the only thing that's really annoying with the pre-sequel, which I thought was Jimmy's what do you want to call it, hate towards it, but he said he didn't really mind it at all, was the oxygen mechanic. So there's quite a few scenes where you're in space and you need oxygen. If you're a robot or someone that doesn't require breathing, obviously they honored that, and you don't have to worry. But if you're a human being, like Handsome Jack, if you play as him, or if you play as one of the Vault Hunters, you always have to constantly find these oxygen rest points and restore yourself. Otherwise, you lose health, which can get
Oh, like underwater levels.
exactly, yeah. So it can get pretty frustrating at times dealing with that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd probably get annoyed. Yeah.
Yeah, like I play as Claptrap, I was happy because I never had to bother with that. And if one of
Yeah,
the
even if he never shuts up.
exactly, he never shuts up. And he's really cool if you have a partner, because almost all of his abilities benefit you and a partner. So definitely it promotes the co-op experience if you play as him. And the final boss is really cool in that game too. It has about it's one of those, like, oh, I think I killed him. Oh no, here he comes back with another stage.
Oh, nice.
um, yeah. I was just trying to think if there was anything. I think yeah, during that last I think it was a good 5 hours I had where everyone was kind of quiet, and I was just kind of like focusing, trying to make myself stay awake. Most of that was yeah, I think like 20-minute games here and there. There was nothing spectacular that I got to play that I would shout out. Like I said, Borderlands the pre-sequel was probably the longest one that I ended up playing there at the middle of the night, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun playing that all for you guys, and going through all those. The I think the only thing I was gonna say earlier when I was doing the Xbox rant was I felt more excited, and it felt like everyone else was more excited when we did the PlayStation version of that versus the Xbox one. And I don't know, it's hard for me to figure out why. I'm like, one obviously was all
Well, I'll tell you why games.
yeah, yeah. Like even
Like, there's a bunch of exclusive that are very interesting for PlayStation, not so much for Xbox.
yeah, like I said, I was laughing at that, right? We made that list. I noticed that, like, no one picked out the Halo, no one picked out Gears, right? No one picked out like the actual Xbox exclusives. Like, we kind of just picked out like just games that interest us that were available on Game Pass or whatnot. Well, you're right. Yeah, it's PlayStation. All I did that day was play exclusives for that 24-hour stream.
Well, I was mostly excited for you to start finally Perfect Dark after the many times we've talked about it.
I know, eh? That's so true. It was like I said, that was great. That was I really enjoyed it. I was more impressed by the fact that a game from the N64 time, even though it has like a lot of updates, obviously, but it still held up very well. Um, the
Oh
core.
yeah, and all the things like they did or tried to do at that time, like it's insane what they've been able to, what they've accomplished with this title. Really,
You
like
know,
I can't think of a game today that has pushed the boundaries like that game did for the N64.
and I even liked that every level gave you like a different gadget to explore that level with. I was thinking about that, like we were mentioning GoldenEye. GoldenEye was the same shit every time, right? You had that stupid AK-47 or whatever, your fucking stupid pistol, and you got your landmines and proximity mines, and like that was it. That's what you got from first level all the way to the last level. Whereas Perfect Dark, like every time I went to a new area, and even sometimes in a level, there would be a different part of that level where it would give you a different gadget, right? And I like that. I like that. I guess that
That's true. I've
that
never thought of that. Yeah.
that play testing with it, right? Like in the beginning, like you said, oh, use the night goggles, and like at that particular time, I didn't have them, right? But then the next level, I got to use that option, and then, yeah, it really made a difference.
Well, with the cheats, or maybe with replaying the other difficulty, it will probably give it to you.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was just based on the difficulties.
And yeah, I mean, I remember specifically there are parts, certain level in GoldenEye where you have your watch as a laser gadget.
Yep.
But yeah, no, otherwise not much. Yeah.
Okay. I think you get to use that twice, if I remember correctly. I think there's
That's what I was thinking as well.
yeah, like I remember in the movie too, he gets caught in that train thing, used it to get out of the train, and I think there's like one more time in the
Exactly.
Arctic. Yeah. But you're right, like it's a cool gadget, but it's like why let me use it twice if that was if you're gonna give it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. But yeah, overall, how would you? So you were saying you were not so excited because of the game choices. So would you say it was a less interesting or fun game birthday stream compared to the other ones you've done?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But compare this one to the PlayStation 1. This one wasn't as exciting for me as the PlayStation 1. Like, I think I took more breaks during that dead period than I did on the PlayStation. And all I did on the PlayStation during my dead period was play Skyrim. And like, I mean, there should be no difference whatsoever, but it felt more exciting on the PlayStation for some reason. But yeah, we had Horizon, right? We had The Last of Us, we had God of War, like games that like I got to hear about, never played before, and maybe that was it too. Maybe it was just that hype factor.
Probably. Like all the games that you've played. Well, how many games was new for you with this stream?
There was Perfect Dark, that was the new one, and yeah, I think that was about it this time.
Well, that's your answer then.
Yeah. See, the shitty thing was I thought so many of those were gonna be well. Okay, I did have a lot of new games, but like I said, Xbox was acting up for whatever reason, and then the games that I thought would have been on Game Pass weren't even on there. Um, there was even like
Oh, they probably were one time and now they weren't.
yeah, or like even EA Access. I found that one was kind of stupid because I assumed if you had that, you would have access to every EA game, but it doesn't do that. It only gives you certain ones to play for free.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
told expect less from EA.
I know. I was like, I think it was like Assassin's Creed. One of them. I can't remember what game I was gonna play, but one of them you guys shouted out. And EA had that option. So I was like, oh, nice. I'll just go on their thing and download it because I got Game Pass and they're connected. No, it didn't have it listed on there. I was like, oh fuck, you stupid thing. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Well, let's say okay, but were there any Xbox exclusives that excited you that you didn't play?
No, no, not really. I mean, near.
So even if we put the exclusive of Xbox, there wouldn't have been anything new, so you wouldn't have been excited like when you played with PlayStation.
Yeah, like this probably would have been more exciting if I had like the Indiana Jones and all those other games that they're bragging about coming out, right? Because then that would have been a brand new experience,
Of
right?
course,
But
of
yeah,
course. But they're not out. I find it's their specialty of announcing stuff and then it could be out at some point.
yeah, exactly. 2025 maybe. Um,
I
yeah,
mean, there's a couple of stuff that is coming out this year apparently, but there's not a release date for Indiana Jones, right?
no, I don't think.
It's just 2024.
Yeah, it's just 2024 right now.
Okay.
I know.
If you think there won't be any pushbacks, because we're already past half of 2024, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We've already passed
So,
most of July.
so what are you pushing everything to Christmas, or like what are you waiting for to give a date?
I definitely yeah, I know I agree with you. I definitely see most of these coming out 2025. Or like you said, they're gonna wait all the way till December and then they're gonna launch them. See, we still did it. It's like, yeah, sure you did.
Yeah, but I've received something new on Christmas, so I think I'll be playing that.
Yeah. um,
Sorry, not sorry.
yeah, and the only reason why I chose the Xbox Two, I was gonna say, was just because I had that endless stream where I didn't have to refresh. But like honestly, that wouldn't have made too much of a difference. I'm thinking about it now. I think next year, yeah, I'll just stick with PlayStation when I do a 24-hour stream. There's just much more options.
Or a mix of the two, no?
I could do that too. Yeah, yeah. I just have to get people to refresh. We had only one crash, which happened during Fallout New Vegas, which I still don't
Of
understand.
course.
I literally loaded, everything was fine. We made the character, we exited the doctor's house, and then that's when all chaos broke. And I was like, well, this is great.
Oh, what do you expect? It's a Bethesda game.
I know, it's New Vegas. It's gonna happen multiple times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, as much as I like New Vegas, it's bugged like it's fucking bugged so much, that game.
Oh god, yeah, yeah. I remember the first playthrough I had. There were so many times it crashed or broke on me. I was like, god damn it.
Well, they didn't have a lot of time to make it as well.
Yeah,
So it's incredible they've done what they've done in the amount of time they had, but I mean, it's still a Bethesda game in this sense that it keeps bugging out.
that's why I really still want to try the Outer Worlds because I didn't get to play that one yet, and that's one that they actually had.
Oh, that would. If I would have known this, I would have put this on the Xbox list.
Yeah, because
That's a great title. That's a hilarious title. You need to play it.
yeah, I definitely. I remember listening to you and Cedric there. You guys just talking about like even like just I think it was the emails that you came across in that game and stuff. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, game-wise, it's nothing special, but the writing in it is so funny. Like, it's worth it just to read and hear the dialogues and explore and all that.
Yeah.
And like, it really saddens me that Outer Worlds 2 will probably be a Xbox exclusive, actually,
Oh, true that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
Probably
they
will be.
got bought. But that's okay. I'll have a new PC until then, and I'll probably be able to play it on PC.
Oh yeah, yeah. Day one Game Pass. I'm sure you'll be able to play it.
And well, if I want to use Game Pass or if I just want to buy it, but I'm more in the sense I'm wondering if they'll make me use a Microsoft account.
Oh, yeah. They could go down the PlayStation route, where you have to have a Microsoft account to play those games.
And as you've witnessed, I constantly have problems with Microsoft accounts for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's not a cool prospect that I'm looking at.
Well, I know it's not just you either, because when I first had Xbox, that happened to me where I lost an account and then I got to make Mindful Pig, and thankfully that one seemed to work this entire time. But I know Cheyenne too has had that problem when we, I think when we switched to the Xbox One originally, she could access her account, so she had to remake one all over again.
Fucking Xbox.
I know.
Ugh.
It had one job.
Why is it so hard? Yeah, no, really. Like, I've had no problems with PlayStation at all in terms of accounts, in terms of servers, or whatever. No problem whatsoever. And I'm a QA. I would know.
Oh man. Yeah, that was the big 24-hour stream. The only thing is a special that I have coming up that might excite you, JW, is I'm gonna try to angle my Chromebook a little better and get another Dreamcast game streamed. But I definitely want to do that Mechana X that I was showing you. When you said it's just like Devil May Cry, you nailed it on the head. It is exactly like that. Obviously, like visual and Dreamcast, so you don't expect amazing graphics, but just that gameplay of it was really cool. I remember that the levels were really neat.
Well, I don't know gameplay wise, but you said you were getting weapons or powers by
Yeah,
beating bosses. That's like Devil May Cry. Like every weapon you would get, was by beating a boss, and then you would get something new, and then you'd get to play with it on the next level, right?
That's cool. Okay, okay. I didn't realize Devil May Cry had that. Yeah, that's exactly what this game does too. Except their idea of doing it is, I think, like you got to like how is it? You hypnotize them with your weapon almost, and then that's how you got to like use them or use their ability, whatever the case was. But there was like lots of like cool areas. Like, I mean, I remember there was a skyscraper level you got to fight in. You Same idea as Perfect Dark. You're going up the floors, right? You're fighting your bad guys, and it is a lot of like Devil May Cry combat. Like lots of combos you want to sync together. There was like another one where you got to fight on this huge like um aircraft. I guess like the one the president would have, like the F1 or whatever they called them, like airplanes. And there was like was it when we enter an enemy's base, and like you get to go through all the different corridors that they have in there. Like there's, I don't know, there's a lot of neat little levels. But yeah, the thing that really I forgot about completely was the fact that you could steal the enemy's power that they were using, the final boss that you fought in each level, and the level up mechanic that they had for the game. So yeah, anyway, excited to showcase that one. I think you guys will like it. I really enjoyed that game. I remember I clocked in quite a few hours. It'd be that one, D2. I'm really excited to show off that horror game I mentioned before, and Time Stalkers, which is basically like a fancy little Final Fantasy with like a Pokemon mix to it. So you in that game, any enemy you fight in the game, whether it's minions or bosses, you have the ability to capture them, and then you can have them join your squad as part of your allies to fight with. So if you come across a goblin, you could capture a goblin, and then that goblin's going to fight with you. It's going to level up. It's going to gain new powers and abilities, etc. So yeah.
So everything works well with the Dreamcast.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. No, it's fabulous. Yeah, no, it works perfectly.
Oh, nice.
Like I said, I totally forgot that I needed a memory card to do like anything as far as saving goes and all that. So that's not the end of the world.
Well, I was looking at how it looked. It doesn't look like a memory card at all. It looks like a Game Boy.
It is, yeah. I know it does function that way, and it's really cool.
Like, what the fuck?
Like,
really?
oh, I can't remember.
I don't get it.
It really does. Like, so example, Sonic Adventure, you have chows, right, that you look after in the game. You could pull your memory card
Mm-hmm.
out, and I think it took those little circle cell batteries. Anyway, you could play like a Tamagotchi, and you can look after your chow, put it back into the controller slot, and then whatever progress you made outside of the console game on the memory card, you could benefit yourself in the game for that, and a whole bunch of
Holy shit! The Switch before the Switch.
yeah, they did a lot of like little things with that, or they used the memory card to help you with certain games. So like Chef's Shack of Love was the version of Mario Party that they had, right? Or Sonic Shuffle was another version of it. And on the memory card, if there was things you didn't want your couch co-op partner to see, you could have it displayed on the memory card so that only you could see it. So they really took advantage of it. I think they did a great job. A lot of games with that mechanic.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was neat. I'll have to show you guys. I'll make a little video of me playing around with the memory card when I put some stuff on there. Yeah, I have kept you long enough, my friend. I know this was just a long ass birthday rant stream, but it was fun.
No, that's okay. I always like talking to you.
Aw, me too, my man. Yeah, no, I am excited. I will. I think Tommy said he wanted to do something Friday, but in between all that, I'm going to time it a little more Perfect Dark. I am already starting on that Outer Worlds. Wow, that No Man's Sky video I promised you. It's not too bad. I think it was only like 15 minutes of gameplay we had, so I'm just working on doing the final edits for that, and I'll hopefully have that posted within this week. And then you can see all the glitches that happened on my side of my side of the perspective. It's really stupid. Like, man, fuck, that one level was just ridiculous. How things were spawning in and out, and just even how you were moving.
Oh, we'll have to get together again, build you a gun, and redo that mission if it can still be done. I don't know if it was a time thing or whatever, but
yeah, I would like that.
We need to get back into it.
Yeah, I said that. Oh man, Can't praise that game enough. Seriously, it's so good. It's just so addictive. Once you actually get into it again, it's like, oh yeah, this is why I didn't want to stop playing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like every time I play this game, I'm scared because it's fucking dangerous for me. I'll start playing it, and then it's like 2 in the morning, and then I'm like, fuck. I work in like 3 hours.
I know,
Or
but you had
like,
some nice screenshots you took. I think you had them in the Super Show Discord. Like, oh man, you found some really beautiful places in that game.
I'll put it also in this Discord, the basement gaming Discord.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, and every time I'll tell myself, oh yeah, just an hour or two or something, and then I'll just pass the whole evening on it, and then God damn it, I've had nothing done.
Oh, okay.
Just fun to walk around, people have their Sims or their Stardew Valley, these relaxing games. I think for me, it's the No Man's Sky, really. I mean, there are action and stressing moments, but in general, it's mostly, relaxing, going around, getting some stuff, and
Oh yeah, and there's so much.
discovering a bunch of stuff.
There's so many options too. Like you said, if you're in a situation where you feel overwhelmed, just go to a different planet, and it's like you're back to relaxation. Um, yeah.
Yeah, if you're getting fucking harassed by the space police, try to fly and uh, outrun them, hoping to not get destroyed and having to get your stuff back.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Man, oh man, could you imagine we would have died on that planet and then we would be stuck getting our stuff back and fixing our ship while being constantly attacked?
I know, yeah, you picked a good time to just get the hell off there already. Oh my god. Yeah, that place was freaking terrible. I don't know why it got so ridiculous.
Well, there's some planet where they're more hostile than other, but these ones seem to be corrupted. They had like purple crystals on them, and they weren't the normal type of sentinels. So there were a bunch of new style of sentinels I had never seen as well, that kept coming out of the ground and being invisible, and
yeah,
it was weird stuff.
like it's not like we were just like a little bit underground. Like we went right freaking underground. They were still following us. It was insane.
Yeah, you tripped an alarm, I think, and you fucked everything up.
Yeah, it totally did. Oh man. Yeah, buddy. I hope you have a great evening. Thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.
Sure. Till next time.
Till next time, my friend. And then, as always, everybody. Oh, wait, let's see. Okay, that worked. Good. As always, everybody, I hope you guys have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry if this one was just kind of all over the place. Like I said, it was a good birthday stream. Do not get me wrong whatsoever. It's just I should have picked Xbox. I should have stuck with PlayStation. I think I would have had a lot more fun playing PlayStation games, everybody, than I did with Xbox. Perfect Dark was fantastic, but I even like the Discord community. There wasn't a lot of suggestions as there was the first time around with PlayStation. Like PlayStation, like I literally had a gigantic list, and I had to be like, okay, what can I actually afford from this? Where this time around, it was more of, I mean, there was a lot of games, but it was I don't know, it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. But that's okay. We'll always have another birthday until Mindful dies. So I hope you guys have yourself a wonderful night, and I'll catch you all tomorrow if you're interested on YouTube. Bye.